Hi guys, it's Nancy Lynn, and I have been working, and don't believe what you're seeing. I'm working with a hoop. I don't generally work with a hoop, but I decided, seeing I was doing so much embroidery on this piece, that I would try and use it. This was a new one I got in. It is a stand, and I like it and I don't like it. Just the legs, kind of, you have to work around them all the time, but that's not bad. It holds it perfectly. It's got little grooves around the side that kind of hold it tighter. But I just figured I'd show you what I was doing. So far I've got Seas and Greetings. I've got this coral here. I started with this bunch of like seagrass and this kind of like kelp coming around here. And like I said, I had seen this and I wish I remember where I had seen it, and I just loved it, but I don't remember exactly where. I remember it, but I don't remember, so it's kind of my version of what that was. Now I have another piece of the coral that I had here, and I want to get it on here. I couldn't find, and I finally found it when I sat down to do the video. This piece, I really wish I had found it before I put that piece on, but I'll put it up here. And so that's going to go, and it'll go pretty close to the top. So I may redraw it, but this is what I'm working on. And I'm using the Golden Threads paper still. Remember I told you when I first started, I didn't like it when I was doing machine stitching, because when it gets into tight quarters, it's really hard to get the paper out afterwards. Well, I found it, especially with the writing, it was really difficult to get it out. Now on a bigger piece like this, it comes out fairly easy. You might have a little piece that you got to fiddle with and stuff like that. These, it came out really easy. This one, it came out pretty easy, but I still had to play with it some. And the seahorse, I think it came out. It's just when it gets into these really close, tight areas, and it's hard to get in between the little circles and all the rest of that. Now on these, it tears pretty easy. So I would say on big stuff, you know, like these pieces, definitely. But on, I'm gonna try and tip this. I don't know if it's gonna show real well as a piece I have not used, and I don't usually use a hoop, so yeah, I gotta find a way to work with it on the camera. So stay with me. I think I'm just gonna have to go in and out and not. I mean, a hoop is nice because it does hold it in place, and you don't have to worry about it shifting on you or doing any of that. You're not like trying to hold 3 things at one time. I just miss the freedom of just holding the fabric in my hand. But I didn't want to embroider through. If I'm doing slow stitching and running stitch, I don't mind going through the batting and whatever else I have behind it. But when I have a lot of embroidery to do, Now, I am not the best at satin stitching, so I try. And like I said here, I might still go back over this. I am gonna do something for the, now see, you'll see when I pull it if it shows. I don't know why it keeps hooping like that. Keeps catching the loop. I don't know while I'm doing that. I'll have to pay my. It's because I'm talking and doing this at the same time. And now it's got me. Oh, the satin stitch. I mean, I can do one. This one I noticed I've still got to go in and do a few more stitches in. Just, it's a beautiful stitch. I love the way it looks afterwards, but I'm just not. It's not my forte. I would never say I'm real experienced at it, so. But I try. And that's the main thing. That's all any of us can do is try and see what we can get going. Now, this side is going to be a little more difficult because I am so close, and there's the leg right there. So I may have to take this off and shift it. And the thread that I'm using is that repair kits that I found at the Goodwill the last time I went. There was some wool and some acrylic in it, and it's repairing socks, I think. But that's what I'm using for the green on these. But I don't usually stitch a lot on here. I haven't. So I have thought, seeing I was doing this, and I do like the frame. I mean, the frame is well made. Should be. I thought I was getting a wood one when I got this, but when I got it, it was plastic. And it looked on the pictures like it was wood. But it works well. But it's nice because you have the two size hoops. You've got the smaller one here, and then I can turn it over, and I have a much bigger hoop. So you can see from the back, I've been doing a lot of stitching. I started this last night. Yeah, I think I did a little video last night. And then but all I'm doing is a back stitch. That's what I've done all the way around on all of these, is just a back stitch. I normally like the split stitch better, but I knew that I was going to go in and do some satin stitching, so I thought maybe I would do the back stitch. For some reason, I always think I'm right at the hole. And it's going to be... Like, see, I did okay on this one for the back stitch, getting the outline. But on some of them, I've missed spots. So, which is fine because when you're going back and doing your satin stitch, you can put the stitch back in. And so how are you guys today? Oh, and remember I had first drawn this guy for the seahorse. He's a little wonky, real wonky. And I redrew him and just did a little tiny little seahorse there instead of that great big one. How about you guys? Do you guys like a hoop? Some people love a hoop and other people don't, but you know, if you've watched my channel, you'll see I usually just hand hold it and stitch. So like I said, and I have not used this hoop before. I had gotten it because I usually do a lot of my sewing in my recliner, and I just thought it would be nice to have it held up some. I tried to use it once, and that's about as far as I got. I didn't use it anymore. I went right back to holding it in my hands, which is good if you have a backing, because then you don't have to worry about it stretching out so bad and all that. But see, I'm right over that's why I'm having trouble. I'm right over the leg. So I'm having to kind of work it around the leg. But other than that, like I said, the two products that, I mean, you can see it, how easy I'm needling through this golden paper. It holds up real well. Sometimes it tears as you're working on it. But if you're doing very detailed stuff like the lettering, I will go the next time with the plastic that I showed you guys before, the rinseable plastic, the one that you rinse off. Now, had I had my pattern as a definite, remember I had a little drawing here that I started out with, but I wanted it a little larger. So had I had the pattern, I could have gone over it with the dark marker and just traced all that onto here with a Frixion or something. But I didn't. So I just cut out, I just did each piece individually larger as I was going through. Now see, it's not marked on there. It's just like if you had a Frixion pen, you can iron it off. But if I go over, like I went over that one some, over the line, I can just make up for it. And nobody's going to know the difference between, well, you guys do now, but my sister-in-law looks at this, she won't know this. She won't know the difference. My puppies they're going to the vet tomorrow. Yay. And they have doubled in the last 2 weeks. Just, you know, like when I told you when I got them, they were not in the best circumstances. And they have just really flourished. I'm really glad to see it. Such different personalities. And my big puppy Merlin, He's adjusting. He's used to being, you know, a one and only for quite a while, so it's an adjustment for him. He's having to learn to share, and he wants to play, and they're getting a little bigger so they can play a little bit with him, but he's just too big, and he just don't understand that they're just babies. But he's been really patient, more so than I anticipated. Like I said, he's a very spoiled mama's boy. I'm trying to get to the end of this so I can show you how this paper tears off. Would I invest in the paper again? There's so many techniques to trace your thing on there. I don't know that I would buy it. I might, but I've got enough to last me my lifetime. Especially just doing small, you know, pieces like I'm doing. Now, I have not tried once. I almost did. Tried it, soaking it in water. It doesn't say anything on the instructions about soaking it in water, but I kind of thought maybe in the spots where I'm having trouble getting it out, like I'll use a pair of tweezers. Got a real thin pair of tweezers, and I will use those. There's my cousin for my birthday this year sent me a whole nice pack of tools. I was like, oh, what? It was very thoughtful of her and so perfect for me. And it was just small tools like that, and they come in very handy. Especially those tweezers, they get into smaller spaces. Alright, and we're almost through with this. I'll just do the last little. I think I got enough thread to make it. But you hate it when you do that. And then you turn it around to the back and it's like, oh no, I guess I didn't. I'm tying it off. See, and it does give you plenty of room to work in, you know, with the hoop. Okay, so there we go. So now we've gotten to this point, and now you can start tearing it. And you've got to kind of tug, because your stitches look like they're coming up, but they do go back. Especially if you've got like a basting stitch, kind of like I had the outline stitch of this. Now see, it all stayed in the inside. So you got to get up underneath it. That's where these little tweezers come in handy. and it'll pull. And then like here I've got a piece. And so it's not hard. It's just fidgety. But this is on a wide open space, as you can imagine how it would be on those letters. There's still a few pieces in there. Okay. You can hear it. That's the one good thing. If you've got an extra piece stuck in there still, you can hear it. There's still another piece. You guys maybe could see it easily, but I can't. There's one right there. Okay, so now we're good. So now I'm through with all my little paper. So and now what I'm going to do is go finish satin stitch these. And I've decided I'm not going to couch these. Remember I thought maybe I'd couch some of this around, but I don't want, and I'm going to try and see if I can pull it through with a needle. Let's see, I'll do that. I got a needle here. Hold on, I'll be right back. Okay guys, I started filming, and I don't know if it got any of it, but it cut off. And what I have done, just in case it didn't show it, I've got a huge needle, the big eye, and I have this pretty thick baker's twine, and I'm going to double do it so that I can kind of do a weave stitch afterwards. I didn't want to put this on until I knew where I was placing everything, so that I didn't have a big bump. See, that part of it goes through pretty easy. Oh, my hands must be down today. Because everything's falling off. So I'm doing 2 stitches. I will continue on with this. So this is why you need that silicone thimble, the grippy one. That just a little closer. And this is all I'm going to be doing, going around, but I just wanted to kind of update you. Really didn't have a video planned. You know, tomorrow I'm hoping I will get some pictures of my journals. get those on. Alright, but that's all I'm going to do is continue it on around. So now if I decide to put something, like I'm probably going to put a starfish or something right there, so I'm not going to stitch there. Here I think I'm going to go ahead and do, because I think I'm going to put some more greenery right there. But I don't want to, because this is pretty thick stuff. As you can see from me trying to pull it through here. But it did pull through. Alright, and I'm gonna just finish up with this one here. I'll just do a running stitch going through, and then I am gonna come back and with a different color weave through there, so that'll stand out a little bit more. But I thought this would be better for the going around it with the kind of nautical scene that I'm creating. So, but this is my wreath for hashtag Roxy's Journal of Stitchery, prompt 3, which was prompt 2 is the wreath, and this is my beach set. I've got a red set, a green set, and a beach set. So this is the third one. That's why this one's behind. So hopefully I can get this one done, and I'll get back with you guys. All right, you guys have a blessed day, and this is Nancy Lynn saying bye.